Hello friends, welcome to another STM32 microcontroller programming lesson, and in this lesson we will going to learn how to use a GPIO peripheral on STM32 microcontroller to learn about how to configure the GPIO pin of a microcontroller as an output so that we can blink an LED which is connected to PA5, and then we will also going to learn how to use the GPIO pin on STM32 microcontroller to take an input to read the input. So this will be an awesome video lesson to demonstrate both capabilities of using the microcontroller pin as an input as well as an output. So let's create a fresh new project on STM32Cube IDE. If you would not have been watched a previous lesson, then please go and watch this video. I have shown how to install the STM32Cube IDE on Windows machine. This video is sponsored by Altium Designer, world's leading PCB design software company. If you want to take your idea from a breadboard to an actual professional looking circuit board, just like any other electronics product, you must give it a try. It's a free. Check the link in a video description to get your first-hand experience, and I'm sure you will enjoy working with it. Now let's create a fresh new project. So on the top left corner we have a file, so click on file, click on new and select STM32 project. It takes a couple of seconds and it will load the target selection dialog box. You can see here I can fit properly on my screen, so you can watch nicely every point of details. And on here you can see the part number field. That's basically a search bar, so you have to search for the component, the target microcontroller that you want to create this microcontroller project is for. Now we are using STM32 Nucleo Board, and that uses STM32F446RE chip. So I select STM32F446RE, and then you see here in the list we have this microcontroller. I can expand here and you see STM32F446RE. I select my microcontroller which is sitting on the STM32F446 Nucleo board and then click on next. Then we get this pop-up box which says STM32 project, and it asks us to give some name, and I keep it very simple and I give the name as a Blinky. Then keep it as it is. Target language will be C, target binary type will be executable, and target project type will be STM32 Cube. Just click on next and click on finish, and everything looks fine. It will take 1 or 2 minutes, I hope so, and then it will set up the project files, basically a project folder for us, and then it will generate all the necessary files, dependencies for us into STM32 Cube IDE. Now once this the process finished, then you will be presented with whatever your project name. So in my case it's a blinky.ioc file. It's basically a device configuration tool. So if I can zoom in, you see there's a picture of the chip icon, okay, and you see every pin name is labeled here, right? So you can easily select. It's basically, you can call it as a code configurator. So the initialization makes it very simple using this code configurator. Okay, in the left pan you see we have the project created here, Blinky, and then there are some more folders. We'll get into that bit later, but right now we just have to focus on this pin out and configuration section, which is by default selected into blinky.ioc file. So if I can zoom a little bit up here on the chip and then I can scroll down, okay, just hold the roller on the mouse and then scroll a little bit down, and you can able to move your, basically zoom out, so it will be smaller, and then you can move and then zoom in, so you can zoom in. So that's how you're going to work with this chip layout. Now as I said, the LED which is connected on STM32 Nucleo board, I'm talking about the built-in LED that is connected to PA5 pin. So if I can zoom a little bit up, you see PA5 pin. So if I can just click through my mouse, you see there is a bunch of options shows up. So I can configure this PA5 pin into anything that I want. So I want to configure that as an GPIO output. So when I select GPIO output, you see its color got changed and it says now green color PA5, and it says it's a GPIO output because we want to control the LED, and LED is an output device. So we want to configure, if we want to control the LED connected to PA5 pin, we have to configure as an output. Now if you scroll a little bit up here, okay, you can just zoom out a little bit so you can have a better view. Okay, and then we have to click on the save button on top left corner. Okay, the moment you click on save, it says, do you want to generate a code? Yes, we want to generate a code. And then click on yes again, and you see the STM32 Cube IDE generates the code, the bare minimum code for us, and it presents us main.c file. So the basic setup and configuration for the PA5 pin, that's where our LED is connected, is already done. So if you can scroll down a little bit here in the main.c file, then you can able to see here somewhere the GPIO init function, and here is this initialization for the GPIO pin PA5 pin. Now we don't have to mess here, rather just to blink an LED. As I said, this is a quick video lesson. If you want to go very much in detail, then you might want to check the link in a video description, where we have taken very detailed comprehensive course to program STM32 Nucleo Board or STM32 Microcontroller. Now as you know that every microcontroller program starts execution, or basically a C program starts execution with the main function. So we only focus on the main function, and under the main function we have this never-ending while loop, and here we want to write few lines of code, and that basically controls the LED which is connected to PA5 pin on the STM32F4 Nucleo Board. So we have to type HAL. So HAL basically is the hardware abstraction layer. So the Cube IDE uses HAL libraries, so we have to say HAL underscore GPIO underscore write. So if you press Control space, then you see the intelligence comes up, and then you can just select the one. If I can remove all those things, and if I just say HAL underscore GPIO, then if I press Control and space, then you see I have a plenty of functions to access. And because I want to write, I would select GPIO write pin, and then the first parameter is the port GPIO A, because we want to control PA5 pin, and it belongs to GPIO A port, GPIO port. And then we have to say GPIO underscore pin, and this is basically capital pin, and then control space, and then you see all the pin numbers shows up. And because we want to control PA5, we'll select GPIO pin 5, and then pin state, then probably we have to say GPIO control space, and then we have to select GPIO pin set. So this basically turn on the LED, and then we have to say HAL underscore delay control space, and then 1000 milliseconds. This function takes the parameter into milliseconds, so 1000 milliseconds become 1 second. So if we want to turn on and off the LED with 1 second of the delay, so we have to write 1000 milliseconds. I can just copy this 2 lines of code, and I'll just paste it down below, which reduce my headache. And then this basically turn on the LED which is connected to PA5 pin, and this basically has to turn off. So this shouldn't be GPIO pin set, it will be reset. Okay, so let me just change it to GPIO reset, and then our code is ready. So this basically turn on the LED connected to PA5 pin, and then wait for 1 second, turn off the LED and wait for 1 second. And since this code is into the never ending while loop, this basically keep the LED blinking. So let's go to left pane on the project explorer, right click on the project name, and then we have to say build project. So this basically build the code. This basically by default generate the bin file and the ELF file. That's enough to upload onto the microcontroller. So you see we have a 0 error and 0 warning, so it looks good. So now we have to go back to the project explorer. We select the project name, right click, and then click on run as, and then select STM32 Cortex C++ applications. Now make sure your STM32 Nucleo board is connected to your laptop, to the USB port, and the driver is installed properly. If you don't have the driver installed, then go to Device Manager and then update the drivers. Okay, but it hardly happens, right? The most often you don't have to do anything, just connect the Nucleo board. It just install the USB virtual COM USB drivers. So to upload the code onto the STM32 microcontroller on the Nucleo board, just select STM32 Cortex-C++ application, click on it, and then it gives us this dialog box which says edit launch configuration properties. It basically asks whether we want to upload this ELF file blinky.elf, and we are fine with this. We just have to click on OK, and that basically start uploading the code. It says waiting for debugger to connect, and once it is done, then you see the code upload is done and the LED starts blinking. Now if we can scroll a little bit up here, and if we read this window, then we can see download verified successful, and you kind of find out that the LED on the STM32 Nucleo board is blinking with 1 second of the delay. Now, as I said, I'm going to show you not only the output to generate and blink the LED, but we also going to explore how to use the GPIO as an input. Now, to add and program the switch, which is a blue color switch on STM32 Nucleo board, we have to go to blinky.ioc file here on the top left corner, and then we can zoom a little bit up this picture, and then you see here is a PC13 pin. So if I take my mouse cursor on PC13 pin and click, then it gives me a couple of options, and I'm going to select GPIO input. And because the switch is the input device, we have to select GPIO and configure that PC13 pin as an input. So once we select, it will be shown in a green highlighting. So if I can zoom out, you can clearly see now we are using here on the chip icon, we are using this PA5 pin, which is in a green, and then PC13 pin, which is input for the button switch. Now because we changed the IOC file on the top left corner, we have to press the save button. So this basically gives us, do you want to generate a code again? We have to say yes, and this basically overwrite the existing main.c file. Click on yes again, and basically it adds another few lines of code which basically configure the PC13 pin into the input mode, because that's where our blue color button or switch is connected on the STM32 Nucleo board. Now if I can scroll down a little bit, you then can able to see now we have few more lines of code which basically configure the PC13 pin as an input, right? I don't want to go detail here what every single line of code does, but as I said, you know, check the link in the video description, and there's very comprehensive course. Otherwise, this video would not become a quick video. This become a very long sleepy video, which I don't want to. Now let's go on the top into the while loop, and here we want to write a few lines of code. So we have to check for the condition. If we have to say hall underscore GPIO control space, and then this time I want to read the pin because I want to read the status of PC13 pin, and PC13 is GPIO C port. So PC13 belongs to GPIO C port. And then we have a GPIO pin, which basically, if I can say underscore and control space, then I can select the GPIO pin 13. And then I'm going to check this with a GPIO underscore, and then I'm going to check if somebody pressed the button. So if somebody pressed the switch, if somebody pressed the button, by default the pin on the microcontroller is push-pull. So we have to check if somebody pressed the button, then it will be a logic low. When the logic low happens, then we want to turn on the LED, right? So I can put the curly bracket here. I can copy this line of code which basically turn on the LED. Then I'm going to add else. Okay, else. And then I add another curly bracket, and then I put this line of code here. cut and paste, the magic of copy and paste. And then I remove all the useless code here. And then if I can zoom a little bit, just use the mouse to zoom in, and now you can see the font is a little bigger so you can watch clearly. So when the button is pressed, so the logic low happens, and then this turn on the LED connected to PA5 pin. And when we press the PC13 pin, that means when we press the button, blue button which is connected to PC13, when we release the switch, then the LED goes off, right, which is connected to PA5 pin. So let's build the code and upload and see if we can able to control the LED. So on a project explorer, right click, first select the project, Blinky, right click and say build project. Because we changed the code, we have to build again. So let's hope there wouldn't be any. So 0 error and 0 warning. Go to project pan again, right click and say run as, and click on STM codecs MCC++ application and upload the code onto the STM32 Nucleo board. And once it is done, so if I can scroll a little bit up, you see download verified successfully. And now when you press the button on the Nucleo board, this blue button, the LED turns on. When you release the button, the LED goes off. When you press the button, LED on, off, on, off, on, off. So this is how basically you will configure the PA5 pin as an output to control the LED, and PC13 pin as an GPIO input to read the status from the button switch which is connected to the blue button on the Nucleo board. One thing though I forgot to tell you, that when you build the application, then it only generates the binary file. So if you want to generate the hex file, then you have to go to project, go to settings. So I think not here, you have to right click on the project, and then maybe you have to go to properties, okay, and then you must go to C++ build, okay, and then go to settings and go to build steps or tool settings, and then MCU post build output, these things, and you have to check this convert to Intel hex file. So check this box, okay, and press on apply and close. Now what happens is when you build this code, this project, then it generates the hex file, because sometimes it is possible you may be using external programmer or debugger, and then you need a hex file to upload onto the code. So before, when we built the code, it have not generated any bin any hex file, Intel hex file. It only generates the bin and ELF file. So let me take you to the project directory. So go to your C drive, okay, and maybe users, and user Chaitali in my case, and then CubeIDE workspace, and this is our project that we are working on. In a debug, you have only bin file and .elf file, but you don't have the hex file. Now by selection, by checking that box, we can able to generate the hex file. Now when I right click on the project and then when I say build project, okay, it generate the hex file. You see the finished building blinky.hex file, and now when you go to the project folder, you can see blinky.hex file is generated. So I hope now you get a clear idea about how to use this STM32 Cube IDE much efficiently to program your STM32 Nucleo board. I hope you will find this video educational and entertaining. If you want to know more, if you want to get more video lessons, then check the link in the video description. And I hope you will find this video educational and entertaining. We'll see us into the next video lesson. Bye bye for now.